Have you guys ever been just watching YouTube early in the morning, maybe? You just woke up and nothing's coming up in your recommended that you particularly want to watch, and you see a YouTube short recommended, and it happens to be interesting. Maybe it's like a guy harvesting honey from like a beehive. You know, that kind of thing is the sort of YouTube shorts I get recommended, and I'll click on it if it seems interesting. But once you watch one YouTube short, it's easy to end up doom scrolling and just scrolling down to the next short and then the next one and the next one. And after a couple shorts, it stops showing you ones related to your search or the one that you just watched and starts putting you in the main YouTube shorts algorithm. And eventually, you end up doom scrolling until you end up being... I mean, for me, I know how to recognize the brain rot like immediately and just scroll through it without even watching it. But today, I stumbled across some brain rot and I decided to watch it. And just to analyze it, you know? And particularly to read the comments on it, to see the responses. And I realized, you know, I should just, like, write down a couple of these links and, like, cover these on stream. Because these are so dumb, and there's so much to talk about with these, with how viral they are. And, you know, I should write them down so I remember where to find them whenever I want to cover them on stream. So that's what I did. This morning I was scrolling through YouTube, and I ended up doom scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and I stumbled across a couple of videos that I feel are very representative of the type of content that goes viral on YouTube Shorts that I consider true brain rot. And I want to overanalyze it, okay? We are not talking about the TikTok mask guy. We're actually talking about the new era, the new brand of red pill content. This is what I like to call gender wars content. There's really no other way to describe the state of animosity between men and women right now than like a gender war, it feels like we're in. Essentially, to give you guys an idea of what's happening in Gen Z, and to probably a greater extent Gen Alpha as that generation starts to get older, is that women are getting less religious, more progressive, and just generally further away from what incels consider ideal for women. And this is happening at an alarmingly fast rate if you're some incel weirdo, right? Like, it's getting continuously faster. Women are getting more independent, they're getting more rights, they're getting more acceptance and generally just respect in society, to the extent that every day women get closer, at least in America, to being able to live their lives with what were once seen as the privileges of men. So things like, you know what I did the other night? It was 9 p.m. and I wanted to have a bowl of cereal. I had no milk. I decided I'm going to walk in the pitch black of night. Not really pitch black because there's streetlights, but I'm going to go walk several blocks to the store in the middle of the night at like 9:30 p.m. is when I'm starting this walk, and it's dark out. There's like barely any cars or anyone on the road, and I'm just going to take a pleasant nighttime walk to the store to go get some milk so I can have some cereal. Because I feel like it, and I can do that, and I can walk alone at night because I'm a guy and no one's going to fuck with me. And if they do, then it's not going to be easy. So, and they probably know that. So that is something that I, as a man, and today is a privilege that men have. Incels are getting terrified that one day that won't be a male privilege, that'll just be life that women can live. That women won't feel the need to leave the house with a man to feel safe, and that they won't feel that they have some value to women, because these are people who truly cannot see themselves having any other value to any woman or anybody in life than the value that men are ascribed as having by default according to the chauvinistic and misogynistic worldviews that they try to purport. So, with that in mind, as we see women getting further from religion, and more progressive and more radically progressive even, and less tolerant of conservative beliefs as well, just done with them. And men are actually moving further in the opposite direction, more conservative. They're more right-leaning, more intolerant of non-right-leaning ideas themselves. There is a schism growing statistically between Gen Z men and women, and all the while, Gen Z men, a large portion of them, are becoming more lonely, more single, staying virgins longer, having no sex or going longer periods without sex, and it's not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence. We are entering an era where women are getting more progressive, in response to it, as like a fear reaction, men are going to conservative pundits to have feminism debunked because they feel like it's an attack on them. And from there, they are radicalized to the point where it ends up becoming a cycle. Women become more progressive and less tolerant of these conservative guys the more conservative and shitty they get, which is only going to drive them further right when they have negative interactions with women that don't want to put up with their bullshit. Isn't this basically MGTOW? No. This is the statistical movement of the gender dynamic between men and women in Gen Z right now. That is the case of things right now. That is what is happening. Aren't men more likely to be victims of violent crime? That is true, CoinDog, but for the same reason why it's not a very good response to claims that women feel safe or unsafe, like walking at night or whatnot, it is heavily influenced by other factors. Notably the fact that women are, A, far more careful and far more likely to avoid these dangers in the first place because they know that they will be victimized if they aren't careful enough, and no one is going to see them as a victim. They will just be victim blamed more often than not. It's a big reason why so much, women live longer than men is a big known statistic. Quite a bit longer than men, actually, statistically speaking. On top of that, men more often than women, when they're younger, break bones, have severe injuries that, just as inexperienced when they're young, right? I've never broken a bone, but most of the people I know who have broken a bone before are guys, because it's usually young guys that do the kind of things that tend to lead to broken bones, right? For some reason, girls don't tend to do that kind of stuff. Not don't do it, but don't tend to do it. So yeah, with that in mind, I think it's mostly a socialization thing. Like, guys, just like I kind of do to an extent when I'm walking to the store, feel more sure, more invincible. And if like a dude tries to mug another dude, then there's a good chance that guy's going to try to fight back and be like, no, you're not stealing my shit. While a woman might just give the money and try to move on, get out of the situation, might not escalate. Guys are not as likely to de-escalate or leave the situation. They're more likely to escalate it because, any type of violent crime being done onto you is also an attack on your masculinity, and you have to fight to defend your masculinity according to society, or you're a pussy, even if it's some criminal that's like trying to victimize you. So guys are probably more likely to stand their ground too. They are more likely to stand their ground. That's a big part of what affects the data. There are also other factors too that have to do with just socioeconomic factors having to do with the environments and the places that men spend their times more often than women. And so, yeah, men are more likely to be victims of violent crime, but those violent crimes are not the same violent crimes that women are victimized for either as well. So that's also something you got to remember. But all this preamble for no other reason than to emphasize that statistically there is a strong support for a social divide between men and women in America, especially right now in Gen Z. And the content that we're about to watch, and I'm going to just play this video, and I'm not going to say anything until it is over when I want to analyze it, because it's a YouTube short and it's very, very quick. But I imagine you guys are going to have plenty of opinions on it when you watch it, as you're watching it. But this video, and the one I'm going to show you guys next, is a really good example of content made perfectly to stoke those flames. This video is called Bertha Got Exposed. Laughing crying emoji from Paramedia Music. You can't tell me there's never been a more obvious industry plant YouTube channel. But let's watch this.
This might sound ridiculous, but were you at your ex's house yesterday?
Huh? Of course not, babe. She is never gonna see me again. But why would you even think such a thing?
Bertha said she saw you.
Bertha? You can't be serious. She's like 600 pounds.
Oh, stop it. Her being well-fed has nothing to do with this.
Oh, no. It has everything to do with this. Because of her crumble cookie addiction, she can't get a man. But she doesn't want to be the only one in your friend group without one, so she tries to break us all up.
Okay, now you're being ridiculous. Now sure, she might be single, but she isn't insecure.
Babe, just think about it. Mia was with Kyle for 7 years, and he was as loyal as they come. Then all of a sudden, Bertha catches him cheating, with no proof, by the way. Or take Tiana, for example. Her man was the perfect match, but Bertha, of all people, found him on Tinder? Since when is she on dating apps? Now I'm the last man standing. And once again, she sees me going to my ex's house.
I don't know what you want me to say. Maybe Bertha is like our little guardian angel, keeping us away from the bad men. She said that she saw you two through the bedroom window, and that you were shirtless. Do you have any proof that you weren't with your ex that night?
Actually, I do.
Is that the local graveyard? How could that possibly count as proof?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because my ex died in a car crash last week.
Babe, this might sound ridiculous, but...
Okay. Now, I think we can all agree, as adults here, and even some non-adults, that this story is, for many different reasons, obviously not real. Like, this is the most obviously made-up story and faked line of, like, DM screenshots to back it up, like I've ever seen, right? Let's go down the reasons why this is evidently fake, okay? Let's start, okay? Now, for starters, Bertha, okay? This friend, this girl that is friends with the girlfriend of the guy and all of her friends, is, as some people in the comments of this video even recognized, is a reference. I think there's a character that goes by, like, Big Bertha or something. It's literally a meme fat woman name. Like an old school, like, meme fat woman name from, like, the old fat phobic era of, like, Hollywood and media and stuff. It's a very, like, you'd have to be a Gen Alpha or very young Gen Z to not immediately recognize, oh, someone tells a story where the evil fat character's name is Bertha. Yeah, they're making this story up. Like, yeah, I think it's from Fred, maybe. I don't know. Regardless, though, very obviously fake. Also, do you guys want to know what 600 pounds looks like? Because like, to give you an idea of a great idea, like, to give you an idea of how this was made for children that don't know, like, fundamental things about life, such as an approximation of what a 600-pound person looks like. But to give you an idea, if you look up 600-pound person, this is what comes up. So, like, I'm gonna guess no, like, that I'm gonna guess that this person does not have a friend who is 600 pounds, a weight so massive that you would be on television if you weighed that much. So no, yeah, I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess no. That's not real. That's actually not true. Especially when the name is supposedly Bertha, right? Now, the story that's going down here is supposedly this innocent boyfriend is being harassed by his bitch wife, his bitch girlfriend, as you know, the boys say, about cheating because the fat, lonely, man-hating friend doesn't want to see any of her friends in a happy relationship with a man and lies to all of the girls, telling them that their boyfriends are cheating, and they believe it because women, of course, would never suspect that a friend would do anything to sabotage them or their relationships because women they have a sisterhood, you know? They always work together to try to fuck over men, you know? Women never dislike each other and never don't get along because they're not people who have, like, individual opinions and beliefs and sometimes don't mesh with another person. It's just, you know, obviously... that's the kind of idea that these videos are meant to play into. The beliefs that men have about women at a very young age, or I should say girls, because these are boys, not men. The ideas that boys have about girls at a young age before they've really lived life enough and had enough experience to realize that girls are just people too, women are just people too. And so this is literally a fictional scenario. And you would think the obviousness of this fictional scenario, especially with the massive twist of, well, actually, my ex died last week. Like, okay, yeah, you totally... Yeah. One time, trust me, guys, one time, my ex accused me of cheating, and she said, my friend saw you cheating on me last week, and then I responded, oh, yeah? Yeah? Which ex was it? Oh, that one? Well, guess what? She died 2 weeks ago. You know, like, that is the most, and then everyone clapped fake Reddit story ever. And then the villainous fat character, quote unquote, is named Bertha. Bertha, sorry. Very clearly fake story. And so you would think that this video would at least have some comments, some comments acknowledging that this isn't a true story. But here's where it gets scary. All these comments are very clearly from young people, and all of them indicate not only do they not view this story as fake, but that they very much think this is real, and that they are actively basing their opinions off of what they saw in this video. So let's read some of the comments. Bro said the truth when he said she is never going to see me again. Who needs enemies when you have friends like Bertha? It's always the fridge protecting the food, some random guy. This is a fat joke. Bro wasn't lying when he said he would never see her again. Bertha after that. Bertha, our little guardian hippo. If someone goes at you from the guilty until proven innocent angle, ditch them for a better woman. Starts with someone and then ends it with woman because he forgot that he was acting as though he wasn't referring to just women as being evil or whatever at the start of his comment. Want to see a magic poof, you are single. An imaginary quote that wasn't even used in this made-up scenario. This is when it gets really wild. When you start getting Roblox profile picture, by the way. When you start getting these kids commenting imaginary shower argument quotes in the comments of videos as a retort to an argument made by a not real person in a not real situation. Bertha watching this and now thinking, how can I explain myself and make her think he's a liar? Because Bertha's definitely real, guys. This scenario of someone breaking other people up so they aren't the only person single, it's sad they think they have to do this. This scenario is of someone, yeah. Well-fed is the perfect definition of her. Skull crying emoji. Always the single friend, laughing crying emoji. I've known the Bertha, always angry when her friend has good boyfriends. Anything she did that upset her friend, she would blame on the boyfriend. Always trying to insert herself in her friend's life, especially if it blocked boyfriend's time. Nah, bro was serious on that. Bro pulled out the receipts. Bertha, I got exposed. I was an idiot. Laughing crying emoji. She said you were at her house. Yes, for her wake. Fake quotes for a like shower argument fake interactions for a fake story they think is real. Big Bertha have hit again. Dang, Bertha got karma. Bro did not lie. When he said Bertha, I immediately thought of Big Bertha. Lol, this needs... Yeah, that's kind of the point. Lol, this needs a part 2 and 3, Lamau. The vending machine always protects the snacks. Another fat joke. Well-fed is crazy. Bertha, more like Big Bertha. Yeah, that's... Yeah, you got it, man. That was literally... That was why they chose the name Bertha for the made-up story. That is why, yes. On God, bro got fed up with Bertha, lol. Angel is okay, but she know little. Hello, I love these vids, dude. Bertha seems more like a devil in disguise than a guardian angel. Well-fed is crazy. Like, it's literally just... comment after comment after comment after comment after comment without a single individual person recognizing that this is a fake story, and obviously is. And these are probably a lot of young men, primarily, who are actively taking this as real and basing their... This is taking the place of real-life social interactions that would form their view of the world and of other people. Instead, these young people go online, they find fake stories, and they supplement those fake stories with real-life social interactions, and that is what ends up guiding their view of the world and the view of how people behave and what they're like and what women and men are like and what they're supposed to do and how they act and how you should treat them and how you should view them. It's insane. Now, this is just one of these videos. This type of video, the like fake text between a boyfriend and a girlfriend where the woman is being insane and evil and obviously wrong and gets destroyed, is a very big genre right now. Here is another video that came up, like 4 recommendations in the YouTube, like scrolling through shorts later, of another very clearly made up story where the awful... evil bitch wife or bitch girlfriend gets epically owned, and this is totally a real story, by the way. Totally real. Let's watch. This one's called She'll Be Coming Back.
Here for good, cause guess what? I just won the lottery.
Nice, congrats. Can you clear the electricity bill on your way out?
You're not getting it. I'm filthy rich now. Did you hear me? I'm rich now.
Yeah, I get that. Does your new wealth help turn down the volume on the TV?
Jealous much? I'm off to buy a yacht.
Hope it comes with a life vest to save your drowning sense of decency.
You're weird, and guess what? I'm taking all our friends on a Swiftie tour.
All 3 of them? Bon voyage.
She's a Taylor Swift fan,
you're
guys.
Just salty because you're not invited.
Heartbroken. Now who's gonna help me with my manscaping?
I've packed all my stuff already.
Don't forget your inflatable ego. It needs a vacation too.
I'm donating all our furniture to charity.
How charitable. Just leave the fridge with the leftovers. It's the only thing colder than this conversation.
I've got a personal driver and a chef lined up. My gym arc will start soon. It's only up from here.
Look at you. Hope they're into DUIs and instant cup noodles.
Oh my god, I can't believe you. My new life starts tomorrow.
I'll roll out the red carpet for you, from the front door to the curb.
You're unbearable. Don't you care at all?
I care deeply about the electricity bill. Did you pay it?
I'm blocking your number.
Perfect. I'll send a farewell card to your post office box.
Forget it. I'm going off the grid.
Off the grid, but with a yacht? Quite the survivalist.
This is the last you'll ever hear from me.
Are you sure? Because the winning numbers were announced just today. Your ticket was from last week's draw.
I'm out.
Damn, dude. And then everyone clap. Did you see how epically that man just owned his bitch wife, who was just a gold digger, dude? All women are gold diggers who are just trying to get money out of you. If you ever won the lottery or got a big settlement, they would immediately leave you and take all the money to go, like, I don't know, have sex with dudes in, like, fucking insert tropical beach island location. Belize or something. Yeah, that is what they think all women want to do, and so they create these fake scenarios and a lot of these text interactions they make up. In fact, this channel is dedicated to that. Do you think all these text interactions that, well, I guess it'd be under shorts. Look at this shit. The Dad is in Trouble, Part 2. The Dad is in Trouble, Part 1. You can tell by the titles of these videos, these are all very much, like, targeted at kids, like young men primarily, or boys. And the ones that do the best are the ones that are like, women are awful. She's in big trouble. If only she listened. She's a real friend. The Dad betrayed her. He should have known better. He knew she was crazy. They left her. She finally came to her senses. She ended it. That is very caring of her. What a W brother. She went too far. He took the DNA test. Part 1. She'll be coming back. What is she going to do? Part 2. God, should we watch some more of these things? Wait, according to this very story, she didn't indicate she wanted to break up. She just wanted to celebrate her success for a moment, and the guy got upset. Well, no, she started it with, I won the lottery, and I'm leaving you. Like, dude, don't stop trying to defend the woman in the scenario that the incel made up to make the most evil woman possible. You don't have to do that, guys. That is what they are trying to trick you into doing. They would ideally like for you to believe it's a real story and to defend the woman's behaviors in a story that was made up where the woman's actions are as evil as possible in their, like, little fictionalized scenario, you know? No, don't subject us to this. I'm sorry, but you guys need to know what Gen Z and Gen Alpha are watching. What is forming this, like, culture war, gender war divide between men and women in Gen Z and Gen Alpha. This is the kind of stuff that's fueling it. This channel is run by and made for incels. Yeah, but it's a new type of incel content. I love how the like description is nothing but emojis. Subscribe and then emojis. When did they join YouTube? 2020. Pretty new channel then. Let's see. She's in big trouble.
Chloe, what the hell do you think you're doing with 5 guys in your bedroom?
Dad, no! That's not even true! How would you know anyway? You're not even home!
I got a text from the neighbors saying they saw 5 Mustangs outside on my driveway, and they see you guys taking turns through your window.
OMG, Dad, can you just leave me alone? You never let me have any fun, and you're always yelling at me.
Maybe.
Okay. So it took us 3 videos to get to the point where this content got borderline pedophilic. Like, is this not supposed to be like a teenage daughter and dad arguing over text? This shit is brain rot. What are the comments? Honestly, kind of on the dad's side here. Chloe and Bedshroom got me dead. They're both kind of on the wrong, but I support the dad more. We have no context. We don't even know if we can trust the daughter's words. W dad L daughter, because these are Sneeko fans. Plot twist. She meant 5 guys like the restaurant. I'm inside on the father. I'm inside on the father. He's inside the father. And Angel Lorenzo del Santos is inside on the father, okay? I need you guys to know that. This individual is inside on the father, okay? Inside the dad. Everyone's supporting dad, but remember the fact that he literally didn't give an F about his daughter and is actually his... So you get some... Like, the people, even the ones that aren't falling for this shit, are still arguing as if these are real stories, you know? Like, this is genuine... This is fearful to me. Like, this makes me scared. Someone mentioned that we really need to have some kind of internet literacy classes in schools now that the internet is, like, where a lot of young people spend all their time, whether you like it or not. And I think that's absolutely fucking true. Like, the concept of internet literacy absolutely needs to be getting taught now. Like, we need to catch up fucking fast, because this is scary. This almost feels like it's prepping young people to start taking everything they see online with much more than a grain of salt at a young age, so when they get older, they start taking vaccine conspiracy theories and stuff seriously. Like, it starts with, these text videos, yeah, these are totally real, yeah. And you know what's been even weirder, dude? Oh my god. If anyone can quickly find a good example, because there's 200 plus of you watching right now, if you go to your YouTube Shorts, like 10 of you, I think one of you could find a good example pretty fast. How many of you have seen the videos? They're similar to this, but they'll be like a clip from a movie or a TV show, usually one in which there's like an awful woman character or an awful gay character or whatever, and like the white character, the straight character, the male character, whatever it may be, like ends up proving themselves to be the morally superior, and they're not really racist. They're not. It ends up being like some clip from a movie that is meant to support the conservative worldview about like the crazy wokeness or whatever. And then all the comments on it, even though it's obviously a clip from a movie or a television show, like these are actors, even recognizable actors acting out like it could be a house short even. That's pretty common. You look at the comments and all the comments are talking about the people and the interactions in the scene as if it's real. Just like with these videos, there are people watching movie scenes and TV show scenes on YouTube Shorts and just talking about them like they were real people having real interactions, and they are actually building their worldview and their view of people and their way of interacting with people around fake interactions from movies and TV shows, and they apparently aren't recognizing it. I saw a scene in a YouTube short where I guess the woman cheated on her husband and the husband went animal mode, and I'm guessing all the comments were something like, you know, I really can't give the husband a lot of crap. He, you know, the woman ruined his life and he really loved her. You know, like the comments are weirdly like arguing as if it's about real people and a real situation. And the L woman comments. Yeah, a lot of L woman comments, of course, yeah. For those who don't know, W means win, L means loss. And so it started out in the gaming community where you'd say, like, you're going to take the W, take the L, that kind of thing. And then from there, it evolved when, or devolved, I should say, as, like, the most brain rot, like, Gen Z content creators, or Gen Z-oriented content creators started to say W or L in reference to if something is a W or an L. Like, did you win? Did you lose? And this really caught on with Aiden Ross, Trainwrecks, like a lot of like low IQ dude bro streamers, where if the chat liked what they saw, they posted W. If the chat dislikes what they see, they post L, right? And so as Aiden Ross, Sneeko, Andrew Tate, those folks got big, it became a trend to say L woman, W men, right? Because they consider women an L. Women take L's. Very bot behavior to be real. Yeah, these people are non-sentient. I consider young people essentially non-sentient. Like, Jesus Christ, have you listened to a teenager? Like a 17-year-old even. Like an 18-year-old even. Fucking talk, my guy? I am surprised you guys were able to watch me when I was 19 years old, my dude. Like, I legitimately, every day, feel like people who are younger than me literally lack as much sentience as I have, and I am convinced that people who are older generally are more sentient, like, than even me. Like, I think you develop sentience as you get older. Like, I can really not describe, like, when I hear a teenager speak in, like, a YouTube clip or a short or something these days, it genuinely sounds like listening to a non-sentient being, and I didn't know that was a possible thing, but that is what it feels like. I believe we just call those people children. Yeah. Well, they lack sentience. Even some adults lack sentience, for sure, but good God. I disagree with you and provide the Trump presidency as evidence. You're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. But then again, young men. What is the, hold on. Gen Z voter breakdown. If you guys want to see a statistical breakdown by gender, because that's what we're talking about here, if I can find it. Here it is. The gender gap among Gen Z voters explained. Claire Kane Miller spoke with 8 young women supporting Harris and 8 young men backing Trump, and here is what she learned, although it is locked out because you have to pay to read New York Times. Cringe. Here we go. The era of divergence is what this Hill article is called. As the presidential campaign enters the final few months, the race is a toss-up. One voter group, Gen Z, appears to be more enthusiastic after Kamala Harris compared to Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee. It's also clear that the Harris campaign views younger voters as important to their winning coalition. With their decision to make this year's Democratic National Convention the influencer convention by giving space that is usually reserved for traditional media to content creators and featuring several influencers as convention speakers. Not me, though. They brought Hassan in, someone who has basically been like number one attacker of the Democrat Party from the left. They invited him and not me. Fucking assholes. They don't know. I've been out here in the fucking trenches, dude. I've been taking hits. I've been getting run over by tanks out here. God damn it. I'm dodging artillery shells in the fucking trenches down here. And they bring in Hassan, and they have to kick him out because he immediately, the second they invite him, he goes and starts giving a platform to the people advocating for people to withhold votes from the Dems that are protesting the DNC outside. Research suggests the youngest voters have been shaped by events occurring during their lifetimes. As members of this generation grew up during a period marked by significant social, economic, and political upheaval, the global pandemic, the rise of social media, the Me Too movement, increasing awareness of climate change, and the Trump presidency are just a few of the events that have shaped their worldview. Polling data consistently shows that members of Gen Z have processed these events differently. According to Pew Research Center survey, young women in Gen Z are significantly more likely to identify as Democrat than their male counterparts. This is a stark contrast to older generations, where the gender gap is much narrower. Additionally, Gen Z women are more likely to prioritize issues such as healthcare, climate change, and racial justice, while young men place a higher emphasis on economic issues and government spending. This is such a good article, dude. This is such a good article in breaking this down. Gen Z males and females also differ on issues related to equality and the role of government in enforcing equality. A July YouGov poll found large gaps on issues like affirmative action and whether men were discriminated against in society. These findings correspond with our research that argues that Gen Z men and women greatly differ on the role of men and women in politics. At the foundational level, young women were twice as likely as young men to think that discrimination was a barrier to women being elected to high office. This difference was more pronounced for older generations. So to be very clear, by the way, this is showing that the inability for young men to empathize and see from the perspective of women is getting worse. On the question of whether men or women made better political leaders, Gen Z males were significantly more likely than males in any other generational cohort, millennial, Gen X, baby boomer, or silent generation, to say that males make better political leaders. So in some areas, on some questions, Gen Z men are the most conservative generation of men that have been polled. Finally, the most important reason why Gen Z males claimed they don't want more women in high office is because women aren't tough enough. Gen Z males identify this reason more frequently than males in other generational cohorts. Our research questions why Gen Z males are so different from Gen Z women and even males in other cohorts. Although Gen Z men and women have similar life events and educational experiences, they view the role of gender differently. Although our work is preliminary, we believe that the media habits of Gen Z males and females help explain the misogyny of some males. Males in this cohort tend to favor Reddit, Discord, and Barstool Sports, while their female counterparts favor TikTok and Facebook. Although they contain a wide range of messages, the outlets and programs favored by males tend to promote very traditional gender role ideas. Thanks to social media algorithms, one click on a gender-based post will ensure that they see more posts like that one, building an echo chamber in which extremist views become normalized, and there's no getting out unless you try to. Researchers of political socialization, like social scientist Gary Jacobson, argue for generational imprinting, or the idea that each generation is socialized into a set of political beliefs that last for decades. If Gen Z men and women are becoming more divided about whether women should be political leaders, this could have short and long-term consequences. In the short run, the increased enthusiasm of young voters in 2024 may not be as beneficial for Harris as many think. An early August survey USA poll showed Donald Trump leading Harris among likely Gen Z voters, with the majority of males supporting Trump and the majority of females supporting Harris. Gender gaps on many of the country's most pressing issues also raise questions about the future of gender politics in the U.S. As young women continue to push for greater representation and policy change on issues that disproportionately affect them, The backlash from segments of young men may intensify. This could lead to an even more polarized political environment, where gender becomes an increasingly contentious fault line. That we are actively, there is a reason why people and even academics have been referring to the era we're in as the gender wars. So when I talk about this, I want to be very clear. I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. I'm not just saying these videos are bad because they're cringe and there's a lot of views on them, so they must be having an effect. I'm telling you that these videos are either a cause or a symptom, or probably both, of a statistically tracked, very strong and undeniable trend that has been shown with data and was such an undeniable fact that there was discourse about it a couple years ago as Andrew Tate blew up, because there was this whole conversation about why there are no influencers that speak to young men. The fact is, the reason why there can't be left-wing influencers that speak to young men in such an effective way is that young men are already feeling threatened. There was this famous quote from Vosh where he said that young boys aren't Machiavellian monsters who just want to oppress women. They're having their insecurities appealed to. And that's true. But at the same time, that is the Machiavellian pre-existing evil. A lot of these young men were told through a lot of their lives that they are privileged, and even if they didn't like being told they're privileged and the implication that, they're not trying as hard if they succeed because of their privileges, they still believed it. They still believed they had these privileges and hoped to take advantage of them, at least as a little side, little benefit, right? But as they get older, they feel like either those privileges didn't exist or they're going away. And that is where immediately a lot of young men start to feel attacked. Legitimately under attack. And from there, they seek out these echo chambers. I know I was one of those people. I didn't stumble across right-wing incel thinking. It was definitely out there and was, seeded around before, but I didn't seek it out online, or I didn't stumble upon it online. I seeked it out because as a young guy, I felt like my masculinity was being attacked by feminism and stuff. And I wanted to find videos that made me feel like my opinion was valid, validated that idea, that feeling, Wasn't just you, dude? Yeah, this is how it works. A lot of these young men have a feeling of persecution, self-consciousness, and they're under attack, or whatever benefits they had as men are being taken away from them, or that they're even being oppressed, as we found a lot of Gen Z men believe men are oppressed now. And so that pushes them into a rabbit hole of content that radicalizes them even further. Same here. I remember constantly rewatching one of those Dr. Shame videos about how manhood was being destroyed. Yeah. I made the Penguins comment that Zan read last stream about dick being censored. I don't know what that's in reference to, but okay. But yeah, pretty much that is the whole of the issue. I really wanted to rant about these cringe YouTube shorts. I feel like they're genuine brain rot, and they're going to have a pretty negative impact on young people that watch them, especially when you see how many of those comments are from people that very clearly, not a single comment did we find of someone who recognized the stories aren't real. All of them took it without a single grain of skepticism at all. And that is so scary to me. We really need to be teaching media and internet literacy. It needs to be getting taught. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment and thought it was entertaining, informative, or even just fun to watch, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or donating through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Streamelements, Patreon, or buying some merch at the Streamlabs link down below if you want to financially support the channel and keep a roof above the head of me here at the Xander Hall Studio. You can also follow my social medias linked in the description. Drop a like to support me for totally free. You can comment down below, subscribe, and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications as well, so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And do not forget, if you haven't already, join my fan Discord. It's totally free. It is the main hub of my community, and every Friday I do a watch party, a game event, or a call-in stream. So make sure you join and you don't miss it. Set notifications to on so you see when I announce my new uploads and videos. So with all that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.